Hello. It's good to check in with everyone. Hopefully, you're doing well. I'm recording myself going over the calendar for this week, showing you a couple different tweaks, and hopefully answering any questions that you'll have on the front end of it. So, basically, calendar set up just like you've seen before in terms of what to expect for the week. The biggest shift is that instead of a multiple choice that you're going to be doing this week, we're going to practice the DBQ, getting ready for the exam itself. So, just in general, looking at today being Monday, tomorrow Tuesday, it's just like everything else before. Check out that course overview and guide. We're looking at Unit 4, which I realize I need to tweak. Unit 4, Period 4, basically the early American Republic instance. So, you're looking at the Jefferson through Jackson and build up to Civil War time frames. I've got just like before review videos you can check out through College Board. They split Period 4 into two different review videos. First one's going live today at 11. Second one live tomorrow at 11. Today is about Jefferson and market revolution. Tomorrow is about Jacksonian democracy and reform. So two of the biggest topics. And they basically split Unit 4 into two 45-minute videos. So not too bad, not too shabby for those of you who want to check that out. Quizzes. I'm not going to have an Albert multiple choice, the really in-depth ones, but I will have a quizzes up if you want to practice those. It's showing on Google Classroom of me like assigning that. I told you before it's optional. It's just for you kids that like really loved Kahoot and wanted to do that again. I'm still taking the Albert ones grades as every other week grade because that's the one that's really source based, and those sources you need to practice dissecting more to get ready for your exam. So quizzes is optional. That closes on Friday. I have to just set an end date. But the main focus and what you want to be looking at over the next couple of days is the DBQ itself. So you've planned several. You've written one guaranteed on a test that I've graded, and there's nothing new in this exam format that's going to throw you off. It's just practicing the skills that we've been building. Most of these skills we've done in smaller chunks. So now it's just kind of pulling it all together and seeing how it looks. The video I posted last week about it's from Mr. Himmler's history page. It's really good. That's this one here. That's the same video from last week. It goes about over exam format, talks about some strategies, and is really helpful if you're still kind of confused about where to start in terms of prepping for the exam upcoming. He's posted a new one. This one is really good. For those of you that struggle, I read through your comments. Thank you, first off, for filling out that survey because it gave me some ideas about what you might need support with. And after reading through some of your comments, I wanted to be able to find some more resources. And this guy's really good. I'm a pretty big fan. He takes his time. He goes over the 2018 prompt, which is basically the United States' role expanding after the Civil War, early American imperialism in many ways. So think like Spanish-American War and acquiring Cuba or Puerto Rico or even areas like Alaska. So it's super helpful. You really want to check this out. If you watched this video last week, that's good. This one right here is very helpful for you guys in preparation for this week. He basically step-by-step goes through that DBQ, models how he attacks it. He has a planning sheet that the planning sheet I don't really like because you don't necessarily have those on typical exam days. This exam's a little bit different, so you could theoretically use that. He's got that resource if you want to use it, by all means, but I'm not going to make you have that because I can't guarantee that you guys are going to go ahead and take the time to print and have that ready on exam day. But in general, check out this video. I think it will really, in about 13 minutes, give you guys a good idea of how to tackle this new DBQ. Like I said, the strategies are all the same. It's just how are those points awarded slightly differently. If you're confused about that, check out the rubric that I've added. Two different versions from an infographic standpoint. But you're doing the same things. You're having a thesis, an argument. You're taking a stance. You're going to contextualize. You're going to compare this to, not compare it, but basically, show that build up to it or the after effects of what's happening from whatever your topic is about. You're going to use all the documents. So instead of 7 documents, you should use all 5. You're going to basically do document analysis for 2. That's that point of view. That's the author's purpose, context, audience. You're going to do that for 2 documents, and then you're going to do a outside evidence 2 pieces for 2 pieces of outside evidence. So it's all the same stuff. You're just adding like another sourcing, another piece of outside evidence. So you should be hopefully comfortable with those. As we progress, I'll look at your essays when you submit them through Google Classroom. I'm going to grade them up. I have a rubric attached to it so that you can see what we're looking for. I'll award you the points, try to give you feedback as I can. And then next week, I'll try to host some format of office hours. So if you want to pop in, ask me further questions about it, we can go over it. And then after this week, I can kind of see what you're really struggling with. Overall, from your survey, most of you guys are still worried about contextualization the most. Seems to be what you're least comfortable with. So that's something most likely going forward I have to try to tackle a little bit more. This week itself. So what you're actually going to do when you go to your Google Classroom.
Hey there, and welcome back to Heimler's History. Now, my name is Steve Heimler.
Hey, buddy, bye. When you click on Google Classroom, it'll take you to the Air of Good Feelings DBQ. So this is around period 4, looking at James Monroe's presidency. And remember, we call it this Air of Good Feelings where everything's supposedly hunky-dory, but it's not how it really works. There's a lot of growing dissent among Americans. So the prompt itself asks you to evaluate the extent of changes in the perception of national identity during the Era of Good Feelings. Up here, it gives you the outline of what is the expectations in general for writing this kind of essay. And then the 5 documents will be presented for you. I have a blank page for you there where you can actually start doing your typing. Now, some of you are concerned about writing versus typing your exam. You are able to handwrite on exam day. You're able to handwrite your essay, take a picture, and submit it. For the purposes of me here, if you want to handwrite it, fine, but go back, type it into this document so that then I can grade it accordingly. It'll be a lot easier for me. But on exam day itself, you are allowed to write via hand and then take a picture and submit it. As we get closer to exam date, we'll make sure to test that format, test your tech, and make sure that it's working a lot better for you and that you're comfortable uploading. There is a rubric that's going to be attached to this as well. That rubric is essentially the new modified version, so I should hopefully play around with this and be able to award you the points, and you can kind of see what you would look like on the AP scale. This is my first time using this in terms of submitting work via Google Classroom, so I apologize if there's some hiccups. But I think in essence, it should work pretty well. Most of you guys are more familiar with utilizing this kind of feature, I think from especially like your English standpoint. So the DBQ itself, you got access to it all week. Do it whenever you want, like by 11:59 on Thursday p.m. So make sure it's done by basically midnight going into Friday, whatever, 11:59 p.m. on Thursday. That way you've got that done and off your plate. I know you have other things that need to be submitted on Friday, and you can submit this whenever you want. It's literally 45 minutes worth of physical focused writing. So you've got the next 3 days to figure out when that's going to work for you. So no excuses there. Get it done. That way I can start getting you guys some feedback, see what we're struggling with, and I want y'all to practice this. A lot of you wanted a practice essay. We're going to do this definitely this week and at least one more time. I'm trying to do this on a weekly format as well. So that's more or less what I'm looking at for you, your Fridays in general, and through the weekend if you want to check out movies, podcasts, or anything like that. Some good stuff, and I've enjoyed seeing what you guys were talking about and what you liked and or didn't like or were bored about from some of those suggestions that I put up there previously. So other than that, I hope you're staying safe, staying healthy, and I look forward to talking with you all and working with you soon. Thanks.